I have gotten to that point though. And in 3 weeks time, you would have to come back and call me virtual assistant. Makanora, my goodness. So this is week 5 of my 8 weeks journey of becoming a virtual assistant. And the deliverables we had for this week, I would just say that first, was not as difficult as the one we had the last week, but I'm not even going to lie, I found this week's deliverables so difficult to deliver because my grades was at 0%. There are days when we don't feel up to doing those things we love, but then we just have to do it. I mean, it's that spirit of I need to get it right, you get. And then when I opened the portal and opened my first course for this week, Prudence is our tutor. She said, you can, you will, and you must. And I wrote it down and I said, Claire, I can, I will, and I must. And of course, I did. Alright, so this week we immersed ourselves into meeting management, meeting agendas and minutes, internet research, data entry and expense tracking, soft skills part 3. Yes, while we're learning how to make use of hard skills, we're also learning and building, upskilling our soft skills. And for this week, we learned emotional intelligence and empathy. Okay, so from the meeting management, first of all, we learned video conferencing etiquette and tools. Yes, we learned the things we're supposed to do during a video conference, during a call, and the things that we're not supposed to do. The tools we could use for video conferencing, the Google Meet, the Zoom. I had to go over a Zoom meeting because I've always been familiar with Google Meet, and then I had to do Zoom. It was chaotic, but eventually I figured it out. Okay, so now I know it. So we also learned why agendas matter, how they come in to help our clients maximize the time they spend in meeting, how it maximizes effectiveness and keeps proceedings on track. We learned how to create and share meeting agendas as early as possible, how to define and prioritize agenda items, and all of that. We learned how to write minutes as well, using meeting agenda to take meetings so it's organized. I mean, so there's a flow while categorizing the agenda and also writing out the minutes. We learned how to allocate time for each activity on the agenda, and as usual, AI is here to stay and we're making use of it. So Asana and Trello can be used here. And then we learned how to take meeting minutes or notes, and we're also taught how to do that manually and with AI. ALX is so much, so we learned how to do project research as virtual assistants. We had to do a mini project for an imaginary client here, and we had to do a research for a conference which he had been invited to come and speak. So on a particular topic, we had to do a research, give him a general overview of what it is he needs to speak on and the information he needs here. So we did that research, and it wasn't small, it wasn't so much difficult, but it wasn't easy either, and we did it. Claire did it, I did it. Right? So we also learned expense tracking. That's like a very important part, right? A business's ability to manage its resources and finances speaks volumes about its relationship and ability to stay in business. So we were given some tips like creating a schedule, when to check in with our clients, receipts, that's for expense tracking, when to submit the report to the company, and set notifications for that so we don't forget. Okay, that's one. Secondly, we're taught to create a folder sharing system with our client to avoid misplacement of those receipts. That's like to keep those expenses that have been done in check so we don't lose one at some point. Okay, how to get clients approval before submitting expenses to the company to avoid mistakes, how to get familiar with the company's expenses platform or system, which could be Expensify, Concord, Zoho Expense, and the number of them. We also learned that why creating this expense tracking, or why trying to track expenses, some of the important informations that need to be there will include date, category of what that expenses fall into, the item purchased, the amount, the merchant. Okay, so down to the data entry. Data entry is all about collecting data. Yeah, it could be from Google Sheet, it could be on Google Sheet or on Google Doc. Yeah, it's just collecting data, and we all know what data is, so I won't go into that. And that was basically just it, apart from the empathy part, having to see things from my client's own point of view through the eyes of other members of the team I am working with, and make them feel comfortable enough to work with me and make the environment conducive for us to work together. I am so happy that this is week 5 and I am coming close to finishing my program, my becoming process. So this is basically just it for this week. Again, call me virtual all right, I'll see you soon. And don't forget, very soon I would have to work for someone as a virtual assistant for free. You just need to sign a document for me. If I work well, I know I will. Okay, so when I come back in, please don't forget to respond or recommend me. All right, thank you. See you next week. Bye.